Okay, here we go. This is a brief overview of Branded. I'm not going to go too in depth, just show you the basics. Let's start our opening hand. Now, this is an ass of a hand. Very bad hand, unless you're going second. Okay, but our main starter will be Aluber, the Jester of Despia. And when he's normal summoned or specialed, you can add one branded spell or trap. And we always want to add, generally want to add branded fusion. The whole deck is built around this card. And this is the main monster you need, but it's a terrible normal special summon going first. It's followed Albaz. So we're gonna activate Branded Fusion. We're gonna always target Albion. And we're gonna send Lebellion and follow Albaz to the grave to fusion summon. Now we're gonna activate Albion to fusion summon by banishing two materials. So we're gonna activate Albion. Then we're gonna go into Lebellion. We're gonna use one Albaz from hand and then one Aluber. Go into Lebellion. And in order to fusion summon with Lebellion, you have to discard a card. And that is cost. And then we're gonna select our boss monster, Mirajade. And we're just gonna shuffle back these two, and Mirajade comes out on the board. Alright, since we sent Lebellion to the grave, we can special summon him by sending a level 6 or higher dragon to the grave. Dark Dragon. So we special and then we activate Lebellion to play Branded Loss. And we set that. And then in phase, the in phase is very important for a branded deck. Albion will activate its in phase ability to set a spell or trap. And generally you want to set branded in red, but you want to make sure you have an Albaz or Despia in the grave in order to fusion summon with it. This would be great if we had two dragons, because then we'd go into our Dragon Lord. It would be this guy. He's an Omni Negate. Up to 3 times. So in this case, we're just going to go with basic and go with Brandon in red. And that is basically the branded combo. Now, Mirajade sends a card that mentions Albaz to the grave to banish opponent's monster. So we generally want to send Rimbram, but since our opponent doesn't have a great boss, we can send Titanclad to get a Quim. So we're just going to keep it basic, and I'll send off Rimbram. And just back to the Key Mace. Then I'll activate Branded in red, targeting Albaz to fusion summon. And we can fusion summon. Let's just go into our Guardian Chimera. So every time we fusion summon, or once per turn when we fusion summon, we can activate Branded Loss effect to add a card that mentions Fallen of Albaz or one Albaz or one monster that mentions it from deck to hand. Now, you go for Quim, it's our second best normal summon. You can go for Albion to draw one, or you can go into Cartesia. But in this case, I'm going to go with Mercuria because it's basically the branded Ash Blossom. That's basically the branded combo. So that's an Earth. Unfortunately, it's not gonna work for us. Okay, now this is another important card to the branded engine is Fusion Deployment. You can reveal one fusion monster Like, let's say we're gonna reveal Dust Dragon, then we can special summon the monster that's mentioned in the card text. So this Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous, or generally is going to be Fallen of Albaz. But we're going to get Cartesia. Okay, that's easy. Then we're going to activate Mirror Jade, just send off Titanclad, banish. And Mirror Jade's effect is every other turn. So since I activated its effect on my turn, I won't be able to activate its effect on my opponent's turn unless it leaves the field and comes back. So I'm going to activate Titanclad's ability to special summon a Dogmatica or Fallen of Albaz. And we're going to get Guiding Quinn the Virtuous and special summon her. Now, upon special summon or normal summon, she'll send a card from deck to grave that mentions Albaz. And so we're going to just do Albion the Shrouded Dragon, who counts as the Fallen Albaz on the field and in the grave. Cartesia can fusion summon on the main phase of any turn. And so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna activate her. We're just gonna get Grendel, go Grendel, and then Brandon Loss. It doesn't matter what we add in this case. And Grendel sends a level 6 or higher dark or light. In this case, we'll just send Garura to get that draw one. So, and the reason why Quim is so good is because she can bring back any monster that mentions Albaz from the grave to the field. So, and that includes Mirror Jade. So I can activate Mirror Jade effect to banish. Then, if Mirror Jade's in the graveyard somehow, I can bring her back if a monster leaves the extra deck. Either it's my extra deck or my opponent's extra deck. It does not matter. The monster doesn't even have to be properly summoned. It just has to be sent. It has to leave. Excuse me. So just for giggles, we will try to. No, we can't. So in this case, we can't unless we sacrifice a pimp. But basically, that is the basic branded combo. It's really not hard. It does lock you into fusions. This branded fusion locks you into fusions. As right here, it says you cannot special summon from the extra deck except fusion monsters the turn you activate this card. So if you activate Little Knight, you will not be able to use this card, and it's one of the most important cards in the deck. And that is the basic branded combo. Yeah. So let's move on. Hope that was somewhat interesting to you. See you next time.